Coombe Valley Campers workshop where you can join me for a Q&A, and also in the workshop today, because we don't have a video live on this Sunday, we are going to be showing you, or we're going to be doing it together, how to create more storage in or on your camper, should I say, using some universal products that are out on the market. So yes, I hope you're all doing well. Oh, sorry, for those who haven't joined us before, I'm Leigh. This is Coombe Valley Campers, a channel where we show you how to build campers, how to install items. We go through tech details, we invite people in, lots of different bits and pieces. And if I don't upload a video on a Sunday, I can either do a Q&A or I can bring you in the workshop, or we also have the Hicksey's garage where we are building a Beetle in my own garage. We've got some regulars joining us already. We have Motivate saying hello, hello, hello. We've got Alex saying, hey, how are we doing, guys? And nice to see you. If you've been joining our stories on our Instagram lately, you will see that I'm actually completely rebuilding the interior on my camper van with only 3 weeks to go before my holiday to Europe. Oh, we've got Neil Robinson in. He says, hello, mate. Good evening. How are you? Yes, so on my stories, we are building Bully back into a camper van. Well, he always was a camper van, but yesterday I decided to rip it all out. Look at that, there is absolutely nothing left inside Bully. And it's all because of this. This is a brand new rock and roll bed from Rusty Leigh. We've got the Rusty Leigh bed because we're developing a new product with him. But at the same time, I'm gonna redo the entire interior. And I'm glad I did. Hang on, let me just keep you going here because I've got to show you something. Oh, we've got Motivate. He says, dude, planning on coming over between 30th of July and 5th of August. You leave for Europe in 3 weeks. Think we can make it? Yes, we are leaving on the 4th. So get in before then. Ian Sherman says, evening, sorry, Mr. Start. Hope you're well. Yes, I'm very good. Thank you, Ian. Right, so going back to the story. So yeah, we're completely reconfiguring the layout. And I'm glad I am, because now I've torn out the entire interior from Bully. Look at that, we've got all of this junk. I realized how heavy everything is and how much weight is in a camper van when A, you're building it with substandard products, which I did 13 years ago. But bearing in mind, we lifted this van and it's already raised. When now all the weight's out of it, it's raised actually 2 centimeters, which is ridiculous. Because I measured it the other day when I was with Jed from Campervan Culture, and I've measured it today and it's actually 2 centimeters higher, which is absolutely crazy. So yes, how are we going to play this today then? Well, first of all, it's a Q&A, so if you've got any questions about camper vans, camping, our current projects, the Beetle, Bully, whatever it might be, please hit me with questions. I will be doing this. I get all your questions up on the screen in front of me, and then I can answer them as we go along. Alex says, think you'll be going with the hard wolf pack type boxes or soft PVC type packs for storage in the cupboards? That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to be using, I can't remember the brand now, but there's either the Cub or the Wolf boxes. So basically what I want to do is on this side, and I might as well just bring you here on the tripod-y type thing I have. So the plan is this rock and roll bed, although it's 3/4, this 2-seater section will be the fold down bed, but the bed will actually continue all the way across the van, so it'll be a full width bed. And then we're going to have one unit here that's going to be full of like racking with modular boxes in, like the Wolfpack type boxes. I'm going to have a chat with Jed at Campervan Culture this week. So we can rack out the entire things, because basically, and I'm going to put you on this table here for a second. This van with this roof on is effectively a 6-berth camper, which is brilliant. Effectively, exactly what we want as a family. But we never live in the van. We sleep in the van and we travel in the van, but we never live in the van. The moment we get to camp, we take everything out and we put it all in the awning. That's another thing I'm hoping to get as well, is an awning. So yes, we're gonna make this completely modular. So rather than getting things out individually from the cupboards, like tea, coffee, sugar, the kettle, the stove, whatever, everything's going to be in modular boxes. So we just take the boxes out, they'll all be labelled, put them on camp, put them in a racking system outside. We've got one of those fold-out kitchen pods, all that sort of stuff. Brilliant. That's all going to be in. And then when we go out for the day, none of the junk will be in the van. We don't have to pack everything up. It will stay in the awning or whatever it might be. We can go from there. So yes, it's going to be a good design. We've got some things to think about, but yes, I have 3 weeks. Luckily, I have my cabinet maker booked for the workshop for the next 2 weeks, so he'll be able to help us out. It'll be very, very good. I cannot wait. So we've got a couple of more people. We've got Touge. He says, greetings, Leigh. What's been for tea? Nothing's been for tea yet. I have not eaten. I've been out with my family all day. I then came up the workshop after picking up some parts from a Facebook seller, which we're going to be using today. And then I've come straight up the workshop. I've tied it up. I've filmed a little bit because all this project I'm filming on a GoPro, yes. And because I'm going to start doing more of the YouTube myself. I can't have Ali all the time, so I'm going to be filming myself. Touge. Touge is Theo. Explain, Touge. Touge? Theo? Or is that how I say it? Theo? Is that how I say it? I'm sorry. We've also got Limery Rosario, who's just commented with what looks like 24 rings. Very nice. Cool. So there's currently 21 of you on board. Good evening, all of you. If you are watching, you've never commented before, you've never been involved before, please do leave your name, where you're from, what van you drive, have you been working on your van this weekend, have you been out camping in your van this weekend. Really love to see what you're up to, and if you've got any questions, I'll answer them for you. Motivate says, I've just got my timing belt and cooling pump replacement done so I can go long distance. I can do long distance driving now. Woohoo! Awesome. Well done. What's the best / cheapest way over the water? I would say if you can get in there quick, if you haven't booked already, I love using the Eurotunnel now. We've used the Eurotunnel, or Le Shuttle as they call it now. We've used it twice in the last year and we bloody love it. It's not the cheapest option, but it's a bloody brilliant way to get over the water. It's only 45 minutes compared to an hour and a half, 2 hours on a boat. It's very convenient. It's really, really, really good. Just so convenient, getting in and off. You know, we travel with the dog, so we don't want to go on a ferry anymore because we don't want to leave them in the car, etc., etc. Motivate says, oh, sorry. Ian Sherman says, question, having trouble going from 4th to 5th gear, very stiff movement, the other gears select okay. What van have you got, Ian? You'll have to remind me, my man. Touge, or Theo, sorry. Best or / most useful mod for a camper? Very good question. Very good question. If you want more power in your battery, solar's an excellent mod for your camper van. If you want more storage, actually I'll show you this because we have just fitted these on the YouTube channel. We haven't released the video yet, but check these out. These are storage bags from Camper Van Culture that go on the inside of your door. Look at this. Little pockets. That's a really cool mod. Extra lighting, extra USBs are a really good mod, or extra storage, which is what we're going to be going through today. So as a family, we travel not necessarily light. I have a 10-year-old, nearly 11-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old daughter, a 40-kilo dog, myself and my wife, and all the gear we want to take while camping. So extra storage or clever storage is going to be a really handy thing for us. I hope that helps. Neil Robinson, he's retracted his message. Alex, massive wing mirrors, best mod. Yes, if you were here on one of the other videos, we did those massive mirrors. Thank you, Jed, from Camper Van Culture for that. Where are we? Ian Sherman. He's got a 1.9 petrol 1990. Is that a T25, I'm going to guess? T3. If it's stiff in 5th, you may well find it's part of the linkage, but it could be something internally in the gearbox. Trying to think if there's anywhere on the linkage you might find somewhere. We've never done a gear linkage refurb video. We will in the future because we have to do that job all the time and we might as well film it. but it might be well something to do with the linkage front and back. So from anywhere from the gear lever all the way to the back of the van, there's lots of different bushings, bearings and things like that. So that's a really good option to have a look into those. Maybe even a bit of a dab of grease, clean them up. That might help you get that fifth, or at least make it a little easier to get into fifth. Wow, we are going heavy on the comments today and we've got 30 viewers. Brilliant job. Thank you very much. Alex says, I've got a XL Land Rover Defender mirrors. That's a really good mod as well, actually. Motivate says, if you remember, I originally wanted a diesel heater fitted, but I've seen how to do the carpet lining. I think I want to get that done too. If you want to get that van booked in before I go away on holiday, you better have some chats. Hit us up with an email really quick, and we can get you booked you in, squeeze you in. Phil Potter says, hello Lee, I own a T5, just bought banded alloys. Banded alloys or banded steels? I own a T5, just bought banded alloys, normal tyres, 205 65 16s. Am I right? I'm going to 225 60 16s. Thanks mate, any help? I am not a tyre expert. I am not a wheel expert by any stretch of the imagination. When it comes to tyres, go and have a chat with not necessarily tyre fitters, because they will tell you the best for the vehicle, not the best for your look, etc, etc. But worth having a chat with some proper experts. I would say whatever you do, if you've got a larger vehicle, definitely go weight rated or load rated tyres for your vehicle. And also spend good money on your tyres. A lot of people cheap out on tyres, and I understand why, they're quite expensive, but a lot of people cheap out tyres, but don't forget that's the only thing holding you onto the road. So it's very good to spend out on tyres if you can do. Right, keep going through the comments. This is amazing, guys. Thank you so much for the comments. Hopefully we've got enough time to do our work that we planned to do today. Right, lowered or lifted? I'm a fan of both, says Touge or Theo. You'll have to clarify that for me. Lowered or lifted? I like lifted at present because it's a comfier ride. I love the look. My T5 is now lifted, and so is the Type 25. Lowered, however, I love the look of that. Just depends on your taste, really, and your style. I like both. I've owned both. In fact, this van in particular has been both slammed and lifted, and at the moment, I prefer it lifted. Oh, Leigh Maria Rosario. She just keeps giving me, are you trying to spam me? Leigh Maria Rosario with some sort of engagement ring emoji. Very bizarre. Ian Sherman says, thanks. Motivate says, I'm on it, buddy. Man in the van says, hey Lee, good evening. Alex says, got my tyres done on my van. Turns out the old ones were 18 years old. Oops. Yes. Definitely check your tyres. If you didn't know, there is a date mark. I'm just looking at my tyre here. There should be on your tyre like an oval shaped indentation in the sidewall of your tyre, and it should have the week and year of manufacture or something like that. So that will tell you the dates of your tyre. I can't be bothered doing it on this one now because I'm answering your questions. Right. Touge is just my user. I think Leigh Marie likes you, bro, maybe. Yeah, maybe Leigh Marie keeps throwing me images of engagement rings or emojis of engagement rings. Sorry, Leigh Marie Rosario, I am very happily married. Thank you so much anyway. Man in the van, Haley. Touge says, what's your meal deal? Meal deal, explain further. Richard Thurban says, evening, just got myself my first van. It's a 2002 T4 2.5 TDI. What sort of things can you suggest for some engine tuning for some more poke? Thanks, Richard from Cambridgeshire. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Richard. Go and have a chat with an approved engine tuner. And the names of the tuners I can't think of them at the moment. But have a look at different maps you can put. I know you can put some nice stage 1 maps on the 2.5 TDI. You can go crazy and go for different turbo, different diesel injectors, all sorts of things. But initially, a map may well do on your 2.5 TDI. One of my friends, Colin, he's gone quite big with his 2.5 TDI, but he did have that remapped. I'm going to ignore Leigh Marie Rosario now. She's sending me weird emojis. Darren Burton says, Haley, you mentioned earlier the weight of the stuff you've ripped out. What material are you using for furniture, etc. now? So we're going to look into getting some lightweight ply. We've got another converters down the road that supply lightweight ply. Evo something. Not Evo Motion Design. Somebody asked a question about Evo Motion Design earlier, by the way. Sorry, I didn't answer that properly. Who was that? I'm going down to the comments now. That might have been Neil Robinson, actually. Yes, Evo Motion Design interiors. We are fitting one in the van right behind me, right this second, actually. Should we have a quick look at that? Evo Motion Design interior. This is very nearly finished being converted. We're taking it, this is going to be done by next week. In fact, it's being collected on Wednesday. That's an Evo Motion Design interior. I really like it. However, it's quite labor intensive to put them together. So I understand why people ask us to build them. Right, what else have we got here? Right, let's go right down to the bottom of the comments. Oh, right, okay, let's go back. So yes, to answer your question, Darren Burton, we're going to look at some lightweight ply, but in reality, there's going to be such little furniture in here, I could just use like a 12, 15 or even 18 mil ply because so little furniture is actually going in here now, in all reality. Travel Bug says, Neil asked about Evo Motion furniture. You built it recently, haven't you? Yes, I hope me going in that van behind us just answered that question. Meal deal is when you walk into Tesco, get a lunch like a sandwich. Yes, it was just, I know what a meal deal is. It just completely threw me as to why you're asking. My meal deal, I went for a meal deal the other day. I had the vegan all day breakfast sandwich. I had the little nuts in a bag and some sort of orange juice. Nothing too crazy, but I was quite hungry that day. I don't normally get a meal deal. I hope that answers your question. What's yours? 2 says, Limmery, go away. Nobody welcomes you, little man. He's happily married. Alex says, I know you've only just put it in, but how did you keep the back of the R&R bed rigid when laid flat? Very good question, Alex. So we have a bed platform. It's on our shop. It's a product we designed. It's a full width bed platform. It can work with the 3/4 or the full width rock and roll bed. And yes, that's what we use. It's, if my wife's watching right now, she might be able to put a link in the comments. Dommy, if you're watching, please put a link in the comments. But if you look at T3 rear bed platform on our shop at coomvalleycampers.co.uk, you can see that product. That's what I'm going to be using in this. And that's the reason I've got a 3/4 width bed in this right now, because we're going to be developing the 3/4 width version rather than just the full width version. Alex says, currently have mine propped up with a block of wood when I'm using it. So yes, we are going to keep that. That's what we're going to be doing. In this van in particular, we are going to be putting a full width bed platform in it because although it's a 3/4 width bed from here to here, we are going to be putting the full width in there. Motivate says, where are you planning on going when you hit Europe? So we are friends with Alex and his partner from Adventure magazine. And we were chatting this last week, and I asked him if he's got any good campsites to recommend on the France-Spain border in the Pyrenees. And then we've also got a campsite booked at Mont Blanc in the Alps. So potentially we are going to be visiting the Pyrenees and the Alps in the space of about 20 days. Hopefully. Let's see if this old boy will get there. But yes, the Pyrenees and the Alps in one trip. We think that would be quite cool. Touche says, that's a good meal deal. Thank you very much. Touche also says, how noisy are T3s when driving? They're no modern car. This one in particular is 40 years old this year, but I have a shitload of sound deadening and insulation. Plus this is a 1.9 turbo diesel with a cone air filter on it and a fairly big turbo and just a standard exhaust, but it can get quite loud when you're on the road. All the rubbers need replacing around the windows, so it can get quite wind noisy. With a big pop top on the top, it can be quite windy. Don't get me wrong, they can be quite noisy on the road, but we've got lots of sound deadening and insulation in here, which helps as well. So, right, comments have sort of quietened down a bit. We're 20 minutes in. I really want to show you this new bit that I have got going on, but I am loving the comments that we've got going on right now. Right, so let me set the scene very quickly, and I've kind of given the game away here. Back in 2018, we hadn't had Bully back very long, because if you didn't know, we sold this guy. We sold him in 2012 when our firstborn arrived to get a more sensible car, because this was our only car. So we sold it to a guy near Oxfordshire, and we just carried on our lives. After my wife held an event locally called Dubs at Delaware, I got on eBay and I was looking at campers, really wanted another camper back. Spotted this guy on eBay, messaged the seller. I said, oh my God, this is my van. Well, the van I built, I'd love to buy it back. And he came back and said, it's me, it's the guy you sold it to all those years ago. So I'd sold it. 6 years later, managed to buy him back. So in 2018, we took him on a good trip down to France with some friends of ours. And so we could pack some more stuff in, bearing in mind my kids were quite small. We had lots of kiddie stuff to go with us. I borrowed my friend's back rack. Now, if you've never seen a back rack, it is a tow ball mounted rack. And I've actually got one right here, just out of shot. We put the back rack on the tow ball. And then I bought some cheap garden storage box from B&Q, bolted it to the back rack, and went on holiday. I then dismantled it all from the van, put the garden box in the garden. We then got a dog chewed it. It's not very good for a box anymore for the back of my van. So, bearing in mind the trips we do and the stuff we take, I wanted to get another back rack. However, I looked on the back rack website and they are now £385 and I don't have that. So I spoke to I'm not gonna spend that amount of money at least on one of these back racks. And I'll show you what £385 will buy you if you were to buy them brand new. So I spoke to my friend who I borrowed the rack off before and said, look, I'd buy yours, I'll give you 200 quid for it, because I doubt you've used it. He hadn't. Anyway, between me agreeing to buy his and going to collect it, because he lives up in Lincoln, he sent me a link to one locally, about an hour away from me. One of these back racks. And I thought, brilliant. It's 5 minutes from a pub that we know the owners to. It's the guys who run B Road Hunting Club. So I thought, right, let's tie in a day where we can go and get this back rack from Ashford and go and see my friends at the pub. And this is what a back rack is. This is one of the reasons we're doing this video today, because I want to show you how to create extra storage on the back of your van. Let me get it. Right, so this here is a back rack, okay? Back rack consists of, and if I step back a bit, you'll be able to see it, this socket receiver and this tray. Ignore that tray, the plastic tray, for a minute. So, like I said earlier, for £385 on the back rack website, you get this assembly here and just this silver part of the rack. This part here is like an £80, £90 accessory. So effectively, what I have bought here is nearly £500, ignoring this black plastic tray. It's like some sort of drip tray, grow tray, whatever it is. The link my friend sent me, this cost 145 quid. I went straight to Ashford, picked this up, this whole thing for 145 quid. So I've effectively saved myself over £300. That's just for the back rack. Two says that's a lot for £300. So yes, bargain. I managed to buy all of that for 145 quid. I went to the guy, collected it with this, put it straight on the tow bar. And this is the little bit here that fits on the tow ball. So what you do, you grab this bit and then you slide it over the tow ball. In fact, let's do a real time. Let's do a real time here. So let's put you down here. Right, can you all see? So this little section here goes over the tow bar. Right, just like that. And then this part literally slots on it. And then there's a 19mm bolt down there that you tighten up. And then that there is the whole back rack. So when I fit it, I'm going to be fitting it at about this level here, so it's nice and level with the van. So it doesn't stick out too far from the van. I might get a tape measure later and measure it, but that is the back rack. Brilliant piece of kit. When you want to remove it, it just does that. And it's one 19mm bolt to to remove it. You can take it off, leave it in your awning, whatever. So, we have the back rack, and as I mentioned before, the box that I had to go on that, we actually still have it, is now chewed off at the corners from my dog. So when he was a puppy, he was chewing the corners with his plastic. So I thought, let's look for another one. But what I did do was went on Facebook Marketplace last night and looked for motorhome storage box. And I found this. That is a Fiamma Ultrabox 360. And bearing in mind that was being sold in my hometown, I thought, bloody hell, that's not a bad thing. I then looked on Google for a brand new Fiamma Ultrabox 360 to see how much they'd be. Apparently, this box is anywhere between 500 and 600 pounds. I've just bought this for 160 pounds from some guy in my hometown because it's not brand new. And it might be a little dog-eared and tired, but that is 360 litres of storage there for 160 and 145. So just over 300 quid. Whereas in reality, if I was to buy all of this brand new, that's nearly £1,000 or over £1,000. So win. And what I have still got is the old trailer board from when I had the old system. As you can see, it's got a really short pigtail. So it just attaches to the box somewhere and plugs in. But what I'm hoping to do is actually remove these bits and just bolt them onto or screw them on nicely so I don't have to have the A board. Because in reality, this is only ever going to live on this box. I could maybe mount it to the back rack itself, but who knows? So what I wanted to do now is see if this fits on the back rack with you guys together. So let's get on it. This thing's huge. Absolutely huge. Oh, and it came with a fitting kit as well. So, oh, it was actually advertised for 180. And when I got to the guy, I went, look, will you take a punt on it? And he said, oh, go on, what's your offer? And I said, 160. And I had the cash in my hand. He said, yeah, deal. Right. So, first of all, I'm going to mount that on there. And I'm just going to get a 19mm socket and I'm going to just level that up. See how we do. Bear with us one moment. Also, if you've got any questions in the meantime, let me know. Let me find the 19. So, let me show you where this 19 is. What have we got? Where have we got? That's a lot for 300. Oh, here we go. We've got some other comments whilst we're here. Right, so let's have a quick answer of comments before we move on to the next stage. When are you planning on going? Where are you planning on going when you hit Europe? Done that. 2 says that's a meal deal. How noisy are T3s? Guy forbid, what would you do in the event of a breakdown far from home, says Motivate. I get it sorted. We've got some form of breakdown, but I do preventative maintenance on this, much like you've done with your water pump and everything. I do preventative maintenance on this vehicle. So it's got new fuel lines, it's got new rear suspension arms, new shocks all round, it's got good wheels and tyres. We've repaired the exhaust. I'm going to give it a full service before we go. Yeah, front shocks, I'm going to go over the brakes as well, but we have just replaced the front pads. So things go wrong, obviously, but if we break down far from home, then we'll come up with a contingency plan. I'm not that bothered. I cannot worry about things I cannot control. I can control the breakdowns on this as much as possible. And when we took him for his first test run, after rebuilding him a few years ago, because we put new engine in, blah, 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 In one trip between our home and like the M25, we noticed the drive seal on the gearbox was weeping, so it was pouring oil all over the clutch, and the exhaust split in two. But luckily I was able to limp it home. So I cannot worry about those things. I just want to get out and enjoy the van. And that's why I do preventative maintenance. 2 says that's a lot for 300. It's a lot for 300. 2, is the T3 comfortable for long trips? Yes, it is. Bearing in mind we've got the big suspension and wheels on now, it's a lot more comfortable. They cruise really nicely. Another reason I went for big wheels and tyres is because it ups the gearing. So I can now cruise at a good speed of 65, 70, and the engine is geared down a lot lower. So, yes. People are saying that's a deal. Epic. Yes, yes, yes. Right, have a good evening. Says 2, when you live next? I normally go live on a Sunday, my man. So hopefully we can see you next Sunday. 2 says, I think Leigh might be a bot. Yeah, I think so too. Man in the van, I need an AI lead to help me with my build. Yes. Well, we're here. You know, if you want to ask questions, we are here generally, but AI stuff's good fun as well. Right, so there's 32 of you watching, which is awesome, epic. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you've got any comments, questions, let me know who you are, where you're from, what van you've got. I always like to see the comments. Right, so let's have a look at this. We've got the back rack on the tow bar, and as you can see, it'll hold its own weight, which I guess is a good safety precaution. But I need it at a different level. So there is a 19mm bolt here. Can you just see that? There's a 19mm bolt here. I'm going to tighten up a little bit, level it up. Right, so that's a bit tighter. No, a bit tighter than that. Stay there. Cool. So that looks, does that look level to you? That looks fairly level to me. So, brilliant. So, that's pretty good there. Next thing I'm going to do, I think, is to remove this tray, because you don't want this tray, right? Let's see if we can get you a bit higher. Hang on. No, we can't. I'm going to put you on another tripod. What do you reckon? 1 second. I don't have another tripod. Let's get you on the desk. I do have another tripod. However, I've got lots going on. So I'm trying to film the bully stuff at the same time as going live. So a little bit silly. But hey ho. Right. So there we are. Better view for everybody. What I'm going to do now is take the tray off. I've been dying to do this. In fact, all my tools are here now, aren't they? 13mm spanner. Where's this 13mm socket? Come on. There. Right. Let's do this. They might be useful later on. Have we got any more comments yet? Andrew Smith says, evening, early start today. Yeah, it is. Mainly because we didn't have a video go. And I need to be home for my tea, and I'm at the workshop. Right, I'm going to have a look at this limery and see if we can get rid of her, because hide user on this channel, hide user on this channel. Right, let's hopefully, this user's messages will be hidden. Brilliant. So, no comments from Limery the bot, or whoever that might be. sending me images of engagement rings and shit like that. Right, that's those 4 M8s out. Titan garden tray. So the guy had the same idea as me, he just put a garden tray on it. So that's off. Brilliant. So what we're going to try and do now is see if the other ones fit. Right, here we go. No more comments yet. So for those of you who weren't here, this is a Fiamma Ultrabox 360 that I've just picked up for, what did I say? 160 quid on Facebook Marketplace. Boom. That is a beast. That is an absolute beast. Wow. Look at that. So with it undone, that's brilliant. I could store all my stuff in there. And for this, I'm thinking like your awning can go in there. Chairs, all sorts of stuff. Your dirty stuff. You know, if you're out walking, you're out surfing, you want a place for all your dirty gear, whatever, whatever. But also, this is actually quite good. I think what I'm going to do though, I'm going to mount this. Am I going to mount it forward or back? What do you reckon? Let's have a look at this. That's quite a space from the back there, isn't it? I don't like that as much. Andrew Smith, no, sorry, you cannot see the backlights okay. Which is why I have this. And my hope is, if I just put you there, my hope is I either mount the whole trailer board on there like that, or I remove the lights and the number plate and just mount them somewhere on there to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing. I think I might do that. Maybe bolt that on somewhere like that so it looks kind of uniform. And then that cable can trail underneath. Or, bearing in mind that, which I think I'd prefer, if you now look at the profile of the van, I think I'd prefer to keep it closer to the van because then I'll be able to mount the back of the board to this upright frame here as well. I could almost bolt that onto there like that, look. So I could mount that there or up here and then the door will still open probably. Yeah, there you go. And there's a bit of space in front of everything so I could actually store some stuff in between. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll mount that directly on there. But let's look into mounting this. Let's look into mounting this box. It came with some bits. But you just know for a fact they're not going to fit. Let's put you over here so you can see a bit more. There we go. Let's bring you in a touch. Other questions? Richard Thurban, closer to the van. Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. Rebecca Town says today is my birthday today. Happy birthday, Rebecca. Congratulations. Motivate says, can you see out the rear view? I mean, to be fair, I've got a huge decal on the back of my mirror anyway, on the back of my window. But with that down, you can see how much lower that is. If I put you at the same perspective as the height of the van, yes, it's a lot lower than the actual van itself. But that's cool. I'll show you another neat trick about the back rack once it's mounted, once the fiame's mounted. Let's put you about there. I need to measure this so it's equal, don't I? That's cool about there. Hang on, let's mount that to there first. Sorry, you must be bored by now. Right, where are we? There we are. So, what I've got here, and this came with the back rack, was a bunch of these, which is really cool. It looks like they're all seized on though. That's a bit annoying. Oh, there we go. So loads of mounting brackets, which is always handy. So they should be able to go around the bars. And then there's brackets here. Right, let's get all these undone and sort some stuff out. This is really cool. Again, bit of a bargain. Undo. There we go. Undo. Good. So how is everyone? Have I asked? I can't remember if I've asked or not. How are you all doing? What are you drinking this evening? That's something we normally do on this. What have you got going on? I haven't got anything at the moment. I haven't got a tea, a coffee, anything. What are you drinking today? Tea, coffee? Got a glass of beer? Or is it still a bit too early for you? Right, so by the looks of it, I have 2 of these larger U-bolts, which I'm going to guess on a fiame rack, which these are designed for, go around the uprights, which is kind of cool. And then we have 4 of these square brackets, which go around here, I believe. Now, sadly, if you take a look here, and I will take you off the stand here very quickly. So what it's got are these internal ribs, but none of my bars here line up with the internal ribs, but they are just plastic mouldings. So what I could do is actually make my own plates and things. Ta-da! Right, so what I have to do now, and I'm probably just going to do 1 or 2 today. In fact, they'd look better around there. Nope, they're not thick enough. Okay, so those brackets are going to have to go in here somewhere, or I'm going to have to make up my own plates. What do we think? What do we think? Those are designed to go not that way, maybe even diagonally. Aha, that might work. Let's do them diagonally, shall we? Because they work in the brackets diagonally around there, look. So I could have the plate square on top and then the brackets diagonally around there, which I guess is probably what they're meant to do, because they won't fit that way. Oh, they will in the middle. Oh, okay, so we have options. But bearing in mind the space I've got, diagonally is going to work. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's do that. So, I'm going to get me a tape measure and measure stuff. 1 second, guys. Need a Sharpie too. Right, so I've just had a look on the other side. Where are you? Come here. Hi. I've just had a look on the other side of this, and it looks like here is the bar I want to do on the back. And I can use these big washers and these big loops, I think. I mean, I can always buy new brackets or whatever it might be. I might have some in stock, or I might just have some at home. But yes, let's have a look at this. At the minute, got me a right-angled ruler, or measure. So from the edge of that hole, so from the edge of this hole to the edge of this, that is Ed Zachary 8 centimetres. If I go to the other side, which you can't see, hi. That is 7.2. So I'm going to be going this way a touch. So that is 7.8. .4. Back this way a smidge. 7.5. Come on. 7.6. I'm going to call that good. I'm going to call that good. Proof's in the pudding, obviously. Right. Cool. Any more questions, peeps? Any more questions or comments? We're at 45 minutes. There's 23 of you watching. I have 9 thumbs up. Thank you for all of those, by the way. Yeah, any more questions or comments? So, I'm going to go for the outermost hangers. And my bracket with the right angled whatsits goes about there. I'm going to do it on the flat. So it's going to be there and there. Cool. I'm going to mark that with my pencil and go and get me a drill. I'm wearing that t-shirt again, by the way. Do we know which internet TV show or internet show this t-shirt's from? Oh, Alex is careful of the butt crack. Sorry, my man. Pull my jeans up a bit. Nobody wants to see that. It's not OnlyFans, is it? Right. So we have the bracket there and the bracket there. I'm going to get me a drill. With an 8mm bit. That's a lie, I want a 6mm bit. That is actually a 7. No, that's 6.5. Good. Brilliant. Come on, you. One down. Can we still see? Yes. Ooh, there's a hole pre-drilled there that might actually work. No, I'm going to go more forward than that. Cool. Right, well, there we go. Only Vans, not only fans. Ah, Ben Guitar, 1991, Roadkill General Mayhem. Yes, absolutely. Right. Where are we? Come on. There's your bracket. There's one. And there's the other. So what I could probably do is mount the other one about there. And then the other one about here. So that'll have me tied into 2 bars. And then we can have a look at the back one. But for right now, what I'm going to do is just... I'm going to run a couple of nuts down on them. I'm going to go for fresh ones, actually. I'm going to find some M6 nylocks and some decent washers and a 10mm socket. Be right back. Super. Right. Brand new washers, brand new nuts, nylocks. They're only zinc coated, they're not stainless or anything. Thread on that one is not great. Oh, okay, this is only Velcroed on. That's interesting. So I think this needs tightening up. What do you reckon? I'm going to find the knot, cut it, and then tighten it up so this is a bit of a better net. Now, I thought originally this wasn't the best design being slanted. You know, maybe a top or anything else, but actually I think this is going to work out really well. Maybe I'll put some extra, I don't know, maybe like a front in it, you know, like an actual solid front to it, who knows. Alcaraz serving for the match. Oh, brilliant, thank you. Ben Guitar says, woohoo. Motivate says, my daughter Malou said, say hello to you and thank you for helping my daddy with his dream van. Can you give her a shout out, please? Malou, I hope I'm saying that right. Good evening, thank you very much for your nice words, I appreciate it. Right, we are putting in the next bracket. Washer, washer. Super. Right, I've got the socket in my hand. Far too tight, that other one. Look at the state of it. Well, there you go. There's a bit of advice. Don't do them all the way up. One. Brilliant. Now that's into a point. Oh, here we go. Neil Robinson says, it looks better back. Yeah, absolutely. Motivate with a heart emoji. No worries at all. Right, so that's kind of a bit wobbly at the moment, but check it out. That is on there. And I don't mind with that little bit sticking out, because like I say, if I have any extra load that I just want to strap down, be it, I don't know, some sort of awning or anything, I could chuck it on. Hey, it might even be enough room for a bike rack on there. Who knows? But I do have a bike rack for here, so I could look completely loaded up if I wanted to. However, back to the topic in question. Let's just tighten you up there a bit. So, in fact, can I put you further back? There you go, that's that there. That is rather a good bit of storage. I really, really like that. And like I say, if I can put the trailer board at the back, about, where did I put it? Here. I can bolt that on there. I could even reduce the width of this so it doesn't stick out the sides too much. But I could use some right angled brackets around here to tie that into that. I could use some, sorry, you know, the brackets around here to tie into that. Or I could use some right angled brackets to hold it top and bottom. Whatever, whatever. But why don't we see if this works? Because I haven't tested this for a long time. In fact, the last time we tested this was actually when we had the Airstream in. Do you guys remember the Airstream? Yes, Andrew Smith says somewhere for your windbreak on the back. Exactly that, right? Couple of bungees, job done. So, oh no, where are my keys? Bear with us 1 second. My keys in there. No, I'll tell you what I can do though. Let's just turn the lights on. See what's what. Oh yeah. Trailer bar's working. Right, let's do some hazards. Look at that. Oh yeah, I'm happy with that. There is a bit of a dicky earth though, I think. Because if you take a look at that, that is flashing or dimming at the same time as the indicators. So yeah, but no, happy with that. Should we see if we can do brakes? I don't think we can without the key, can we? Hang on. Found the key. Can you tell me if the brakes are working, please? Did the brakes work? Did the brakes work? Let's put you there so you can see both at the same time. Did the brakes work? Did they work? Someone? Did my brakes work at the same time? Alex is not sure. Is it difficult to wire in the light board? No, you just need a trailer plug. So I just have a regular trailer plug down here for my tow bar. If it wants to undo, come on. There are all of the diagrams online. If you look at, what's this? 7-pin? Yeah, if you look at 7-pin trailer wiring, then all the colours are on there, absolutely. So that's cool, right? Wow, look, that's the hour. So, that's the hour, people. Lovely little one today. Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Hang on, Daniel Murphy says, van lights, yeah, but not bored by the looks of it. Okay, well, I can look at that. I can clean up the terminals, maybe clean up some wiring. Brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. It's now 60 minutes and 29 seconds. I really appreciate you being here. There are 20 of you watching right now. Before you leave and before we close, if you could give me 20 thumbs up, there should be a thumbs up logo. It's a little like. That would be wonderful. We're at 13 likes so far. If we could get to 20 likes, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. Before I go in the next couple of minutes, has anybody got any other questions for me? And I will very, very happily answer them. Anybody at all? If not, no worries at all. I'll give you 1 minute. Lastly, what's your thoughts on the box? It's quite wide, isn't it? If you have a look down the side of the van, that's almost the width of the van, isn't it? Look at that. Man, that's a lot of space. That is a lot of space in there. I look forward to utilising that to its fullest. So there we go. I've managed to fit 360 litres of onboard storage for a grand total of what, £310? Whereas in reality, if I bought all of that stuff new, it would be over 1,000, so brilliant. Alex says, see what the frame looks like with the load. Do you want me to show you what the frame looks like with the load? Now, it's 100 kilograms weight limit on this. I'm either going to completely embarrass myself now, or it's going to work out really, really well. Ignore this rocking because it's not bolted in properly. But that is me on there. So I'm pretty heavy. I'm 15 stone, I think. So there you go. It will support my weight. Awesome. Right. Once again, thank you very much, everybody. Really good to see you all. Thank you so much for commenting, getting involved in the live. I love doing these. I really love doing these. I love interacting with you guys. I love doing this sort of stuff on camera as well. Really enjoy it. So, like I say, if you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Before I go, let's see if we can get that to 20. We're at 18 likes so far, and there's 21 of you watching. 2 more likes. Come on. See if we can get it to 20 before I go. Yes? No? Maybe? Who knows? Okay then, right, I'm going to leave it there. 62 minutes and 49 seconds. Thank you so much for joining us. I will see you next time on Combe Belly Campers. Next week's video on Sunday, if not before, we'll be doing the how-to on the cargo bags from Jed at Campervan Culture. Oh, actually, crap, I forgot. I wanted to show you the extra trick on this box, or on this rack. So, let me just lock this down. And I've got something else to show you. In fact, it'd be best if you're over here. Somebody says, it's 20. Right, so, you might be thinking to yourself, Lee, but you can't get into your tailgate. And you'd be right. I can't. However, this has a trick. And let's see if I can do this, because the bolts are hidden up out the way. Where's the 13? Where's the 13 gone? There we are. Interesting. Okay, that's not how I had my last one. Okay, so what that's meant to be is one single hole, so I might have to make a mod on this. But what that is meant to do, I thought that's meant to stay sort of still there. So I've just removed 2 safety bolts from it. Then what you're meant to be able to do is remove that pin and drop that down. So now you can get to your tailgate. Whew, I'm so glad that worked out. So, tailgate down. Safety pin in. But what I think I'm going to do is maybe weld up the holes. They seem elongated. The last one I used, they weren't elongated. So I want to be able to have just one pin in there. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make another split pin, so I have to remove 2 split pins. But isn't that cool? The fact that you can drop the whole thing? So you drop that down, that sits there. Oh, I know the problem now. I know what it is. That's really clever. So the safety bolts I removed, or what I thought were safety bolts, are actually like calibration holes. So if I put those bolts back in, that might actually still work. Anyway, I put a safety pin in, it drops down. But those holes that or the bolts that I've just removed from those holes, they are like calibration holes, so you can get the hole for that pin in exactly the right place. How cool is that? Right, I'm done. That is 67 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us. Really good to see you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.